John Wall has been out all season following surgery to repair a torn Achilles, but yesterday was seen playing in a full-court scrimmage. Guys, he was still the fastest guy in the court in several of these ups and downs. Granted, he was playing against largely the player development staff, but still, he was getting buckets. What should the Wizards do with John Wall, Amin?
All right, so there's a couple ways to answer that question. One is just a general basketball question. What do you do with them? Does he fit in with what they're doing? They've never been this good offensively in terms of the rest of the league, and he hasn't played a second. How do you integrate him? That's not the question you're asking me right now.
I'm asking more, look, next month it'll be a year since the Achilles surgery. Do you bring him back before the end of the season?
No, you don't.
No.
And it's not about whether it's rushing him or not rushing him. There's a financial reason not to do this, and that is the insurance pays money. Exactly. It pays 80% of his salary.
I think that's kicked in already.
Have they hit 41 games yet?
It will kick in by the time you could bring him back. If it hasn't kicked in already,
over the next 4 years.
Yes.
If it has not kicked in like as of today, it will kick in very shortly.
$30 million. 30 of that $38 million is covered by insurance.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yes, Tracy. Do not adjust your television sets, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa!
Long term, though.
I'm telling you, you can still try to make a comeback now. Vince Carter's still out there.
Long term, though. Mm-hmm. You saw those numbers.
Right.
There's nobody lining up to get the Achilles repaired guy with $120 million. So eventually, when he does come back,
yes,
they got to play him, and they got to play him a lot, and they've got to figure out a way to keep this great positive vibe. And I know the team isn't great win-loss record-wise, but people are talking about the Wizards in a very positive way for the first time in a long time.
Last week.
So, and you're right. And if I'm John Wall, I see what's going on. I see that a lot of people are talking good about us and how hard we play and that our offense is looking good now. We're amongst the top, right? Mm-hmm. So me as a player, I have to take a seat back and really look at the whole, pie as a totality. It's like, how can I contribute to this without messing up everybody's flow? All right, I understand what this guy does well, what he does well, where I can't give him the ball. Like, that's how he has to be thinking. He can't think, all right, I'm coming back to let everybody know that I still has it. No.
Right.
No, you got to come back and you got to contribute in a different way.
Well, look, a lot has changed for John Wall in his life off the court. Unfortunately, he had some great personal loss. On the court, obviously, he's been dealing with all of these injuries. So I do expect him to come back when he does, appreciating sort of the opportunities that he has on the basketball court. And I also don't want people to forget how good a basketball player he is. I think the fact that those salary numbers next to his injury history have been sort of the main thing that people have thought about him. John Wall is really good, and the fact that he has been able to keep some of that speed that we saw, I know, again, it's against development staff coaches, but we have seen with one of his teammates down there in Washington, Isaiah Thomas, he has never really gotten his speed back from his surgery and injury, and has completely changed what kind of player he can be because of his height. And there is a concern that after multiple injuries with John Wall, he would lose some of his speed and dexterity. He looks good jumping up and down there.
The one thing I'll say, and I love what Tracy said about how John needs to figure out how he can adjust what he does great to keep this great thing going. But one place I could see that definitely happening is they are the worst defensive team in the NBA.
Oh, yes.
He can absolutely help on that end, depending how healthy he is. And so for me, I would love to see him come in and try to take ownership of that. Hey, guys, we got to get this better.
You got to think. I mean, this guy's speed was off the charts. By far faster than anybody else on the basketball court. So, I mean, he's just coming down to everybody else's speed now.
Now he's just going to be average fast as opposed to...
Right. I mean, before he was like, pew!
Yeah.
And now he's average.
Now he gets just a regular fast.
Yeah.
He still looks pretty quick. GM Tommy Shepard telling NBC Sports down there, he said, we're not going to skip steps. We are not in a rush to see John back unless he is 100% healthy. So it sounds like the Wizards GM agrees with our two general managers here at the desk.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.